I never really failed that much publicly. Watch a film with Coach Belichick, he'll start pointing out things that you're not really relatively looking at. Of course, you're looking at, okay, how's this corner looking in man coverage versus zone coverage versus cover two versus three? Like, what's his foot placement? What's his depth? All that. But then, like, Coach Belichick will get into certain stuff where you're like looking at, things you would never think about looking at, or how the like what's the depth here, where's their backer bossed over on this, where's the end lined up on this blitz. You're just kind of like, oh, okay, like kind of one of those things. I only I have 1 year under my belt as a starter that I wasn't really relatively looking at yet. That I've learned a lot from him.
So at the end of the day, there were a lot of injuries last year, and we'll talk about that. But with all of that under your belt now heading into Wake, you are a substantially better quarterback than you've ever been in your life in this moment, despite the fact that maybe not everybody saw those improvements because I could tell. I watched a lot of your football. You were playing through a lot of injuries last season.
That's how I felt as well. Like even, I mean, I feel like the season ended how kind of funny where when I ended up breaking my fibula on my left leg. It was kind of like one of those like, of course, just one of those like. But I think overall, I think I am a better quarterback. Just on and off the field, dealing with adversity, being able to show up when things aren't going your way. It was kind of one of those deals I talked to my dad about a lot. Was I never really failed that much publicly.
And definitely got more NFL ready, right?
Yeah, I agree. Just kind of what I was talking about was I just felt like I wouldn't change anything that happened. I got to play, for UNC, play for Coach Belichick, play for Coach Kitchen, just learn from those people. Even if it wasn't going in my favor or our team's favor, it was just something I grew a lot as a player and like growing as a quarterback. That I was just always like when people asked me, I'm always like, I'll do it again. I got to learn. I got to play for UNC. It was a great opportunity that I wouldn't pass up if I was to go back in time.
As you're kind of prepping for Wake Forest fans that haven't really gotten to see you play much, not never know how much they were tuning into UNC football. How would you describe your game? And hey, if they really want to see something, go watch the South Alabama tape, and you'll get a pretty good idea for what everybody's getting excited about. But yeah, I just don't feel like the speed was on full display last year. That's really when I watched the game, that's the one thing that didn't feel like it was like. I mean, you're fast.
I mean, it was a rough. Like I got in a car accident like right before the TCU game, so like that was like I already like my back was already kind of messed up just going into the season. It was just I was beat up all around, but like I just think our offenses wasn't really meant around like QB runs. It was more downhill, inside zone, hand under center stuff. That was more to our run game. So I feel like I just never really got to get into the running game of my aspect, but that was just not the offense that we were in, but. I'm excited to get back with Ezell and, be able to play my game a little more.
Are you just like the
Yeah.
toughest dude on the planet? Because I really want to know about, like, I read about this whole thing. You're in a car accident the week of that TCU game, still go out and play on national TV. How do you do that? I mean, it sounds like it was, that's insane that you were playing in the first place.
Yeah, I was actually on the way to workouts. I know we played TCU like that Monday. I want to say I got into a car accident like went the Wednesday before, and my car got totaled. They like took me to the hospital, and like I got checked out, all that stuff. I didn't have any broken bones or anything. I had like some bruises on my side and like on some of my leg and all that. But I was like, overall, I was like, should be fine. So like, it's like I think I like missed a day of practice, and now I was back out there just trying to get back moving and stuff. Like I was just so excited for the season. I couldn't imagine missing the season opener.
That
Yeah,
hurt though. Like
yeah. I mean, it did
when
hurt.
you were going out there, like I said, you're a tough dude, but when you were out there, the opener, like days after a car accident, that hurt.
Yeah, I wasn't great.
It wasn't an easy experience, and I
No.
still can't believe I still can't believe that happened. But for you, it's just that playing is never not playing is never an option for you. You just want to be out there.
Yeah, I mean, football is a kid's game, and it's always something I'm super excited to do. So I can't imagine just missing out on it.
What have been some of the parts you've really enjoyed so far about being a part of this team now that you've gotten to spend the spring out there?
I just think it's been really cool. Coach Dickert has an awesome coach. I love playing for him. Just we do a lot of team bonding. It's just like coming from a different program, I wasn't really I wasn't really known about the team bond. Like, I know people team bond and like hang out, but we do it a lot. And I remember at first I was like kind of overbearing to me. I was like, man, we're hanging out all the time. Like, oh my god. But then I realized like it's really important because like going into spring ball, I realized how connected I was with these guys that have only been here 3 months. Hey, I'm trusting them out of their break. I'm trusting how I'm able to communicate to them when I don't like what they did. They're able to communicate to me when they feel like they were open on something I didn't throw it. It was just the communication aspect of things are so much closer, and the details are so much, like finer when it comes to like talking to guys. Just because you have such a good connection. I think Coach Dicker does a great job just making sure guys are connected, even though, hey, you're from this area, you're from this school, you're a high schooler. Like, you just connect with these guys, and you end up building such a bond that you care about them, that you end up just playing better together because you know each other more.
And you had that at South, right? I mean, you had 2.5 years with these guys to build really deep
Yeah.
relationships. But do you feel like with Coach Dickard so far at Wake and all of the bonding activities that have been done, that you've accelerated that process now?
Yeah, I feel like Coach Dicker like kind of almost forces you to like got to be bought in, because if you're not bought in, it's gonna show, and you end up bonding to these guys and you end up hanging out with these guys all the time. And I remember at South, like I'm Jamal Pritchard, my slot receiver. I was hanging out with him like every day. I was my best friend there, and it showed on the field. Like, we just understood each other and stuff like that. So just to be kind of back in that same operation where you're like, man, like a lot of my wideouts I'm hanging out with all the time, texting them, just like, and it's like I realized that I was getting close with these guys. When you start calling guys, you're not just talking football. I'm calling them like, "Hey, what you doing? I'm trying to go eat. Hey, what you doing? You at the house? Like, what you doing? Like, want to play the game?" When you start realizing, like, oh, I really just like being around these guys, hanging out with these guys, and they're just showing up on the field. Where you're able, like, they make a big play. You're like, you know them. Like, you're like, oh, good play. It's not like, oh, good play. Like, you're my teammates. Like, oh, good play. Like, you're one of my friends. So like, it starts to just it's just a closer connection, and it matters.
So, if you look back at the whole college journey now, what do you think the most challenging moment has been for you?
I think the most challenging thing was first just leaving South, because I really enjoyed playing there. Like, I loved playing for Coach Applewhite. There's like first squad I played at. Like, I was really close with those guys, like on another level there. But I'd say the hardest part was probably just dealing with adversity at UNC. Like, this kind of what I was referenced earlier was this failing at such a public level. Like at South, like when you had a bad game or we didn't win a game, it was kind of like, ah, like you're in the Sun Belt, people like paid attention a little bit, but not that much. But just failing such a public setting was something I had to deal with on and off the field, personally, and just having to keep showing up as a man every day. And it's kind of grew me a lot as a person, and realizing that like stuff's not gonna go your way every day. Stuff's not gonna go how you planned, and like you just gotta keep showing up. And I was just proud of myself to keep showing up every day and keep playing the game and keeping the same mindset of not being like a cancer in the locker room, or like having a bad mindset. Just being excited to still play a kid's game and just have the opportunity to even play at UNC was a blessing. So this kind of seeing the good in everything. I think that was probably the toughest thing I had to go through.
Was there a moment in the spring where you kind of felt like a new version of you had arrived? And if so, what was it?
Just being super excited to be at Wake and just feeling myself just loving football, like just being excited every day to show up. But that's just in general. But I would say during spring ball, just my command kind of changed a little more. Like my command and my like demand, in the sense of like, not in the sense like just being a leader, just kind of everything is kind of filled in. And I just feel like I was able to like communicate to guys, talk to guys, know exactly what I was looking for, understand the offense, communicate to the guys what the offense should look like, sit in the pocket, get to my second, third, fourth read, and just be comfortable in there, and just being back in offense where I feel like I was like comfortable in. So I think like I didn't just evolve there in the sense of like one thing that was super excited for me was I was just getting to my third and fourth read a lot in the practice. And as when you're a younger quarterback, that's not me anymore. But when I was a younger quarterback, I remember I was kind of first, second read guy, and I was always like, man, like I want to be better at that. And just being able to get to my third, fourth read or get to my check down, I just feel like I've grown a lot as a player, and it's kind of like a self compliment that I felt really good about. Where I was like, okay, like I'm growing a lot as a player, understanding coverages, understanding what we need to get to, stuff like that. That I was just super excited about as a personal like thought process.
When all the stuff is over, from 2026, hopefully, and also 2027 early season for you guys, what's the story you want to be telling me?
Won a lot of games. That's all I really want to be telling you. I've never been one to really pay attention to like the stats anymore. The not anymore. Just worried about stats. I'm worried about how I'm producing. I think just for me, just wanting to be a winning ball club, have a positive record, and just going after the ACC championship. Of course, that's the goal for everybody, but making sure that that's what we're taking a step in, striding in every day in the summer and in fall camp. So I think just as a team, just making sure that we showed up every day and we gave our put our best foot forward for every game and just won a lot of games. And I'll be a happy camper for just winning a lot of games. I'll be good personally.